Hello and good morning, everybody. I hope you're all not too tired if it's too late wherever you are, and not too tired if it's too early. But thank you for joining our August Impact Startup Visa info session. My name is Dil, and I am the Impact Startup Visa Program Associate. And I have with me the lovely Tehmina. Tehmina, would you like to introduce yourself?
So I'm Tehmina A. Chaudhry. I'm originally from Pakistan, and I'm also a startup visa successful applicant. Now I'm based in Toronto. I'm a startup visa consultant, a serial entrepreneur, and an angel investor. And today I'm here to help lovely Will to support and give you the information about Spring's Impact Startup Visa Program.
Perfect. Awesome. So just to give you guys a really quick agenda, we're going to jump into a quick presentation and then we will be open for questions. We're going to touch on some frequently asked questions that we see a lot and we know you're all curious about. So there will be space for your questions to be answered as well. So don't worry. There is a little section at the bottom that says ask a question. Use that to submit your questions. That's where we will be looking. We won't be looking at the chat. So make sure you're putting your questions in the ask a question box. There is also a poll at the bottom. You'll see a section called polls, and there's 2 questions there. I already see some answers. So do take a look and throw some answers in there. And I think we're ready to start. So I will share my screen and we'll jump right in. Right. And there we go. All right. Floor is yours, Tehmina.
Thank you so much, Dil. So today, as we already mentioned, we are here to walk you through the Canada Startup Visa Program, what Spring does, what INSTA Startups does. So basically, the Canada Startup Visa Program is for the entrepreneurs from all around the world, and it offers a permanent residency for the entrepreneurs who can bring their businesses to Canada. Adil, I want you to keep changing the slide. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So what is Canada Startup Visa Program? So basically, it's an initiative from Canadian government to attract global talent. People like you who are seeing this session, entrepreneurs, tech innovators, hustlers, and it stimulates. Canadian government wants to stimulate economic growth and innovation, and it's an opportunity to entrepreneurs worldwide, no matter where you are. As long as you run a startup business or you have an innovative idea, you can apply for the Canada Startup Visa Program. Next slide, please. So what is Startup Visa? I have already told you that it's a permanent residency for innovative entrepreneurs around the world. And it requires a support from a designated entity, just like Spring Activator. There are many designated entities, but Spring is one of them, and which we work with, and we are in providing with the information. The best thing about Spring Activator is that they runs a Impact Startup Visa Program that is sector agnostic. So it's not only technology startup, but it can be any startup who is creating value for the world and is creating impact through your business. And you need to prove the potential to build a high growth business in Canada. This is one of the requirements. That means that whatever your business is, whatever your idea is, or whatever your startup that you are building, it needs to have a high growth potential. Means it can be scalable from, if you are having a business in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nigeria, but as long as it has a market potential in Canada, you will be eligible to apply for it. Next slide, please. Okay, so I have already touched the role of Spring Activator, the importance of the designated entities. So definitely why you need a designated entity. This is the first thing it's the mandatory requirement that your idea and your startup has been accepted by a designated entity. You need to have a commitment certificate and letter of support from them, just like the Spring Activator. What they do, basically, they validate and endorse the business concept. They provide you the guidance, resources, and the right networking that you need to establish and make your business a success. And also, they will connect you later on, once you are here, with the potential investors advisors, and most importantly, the clients. That will be the core requirement of your business. So basically, they will provide you the hand holding, and that's why the role of a Spring Activator or any designated entity is crucial. And it's crucial to you that you select the right designated entity that resonates with your business idea and the vision and mission of your business. So the slide is a little bit thick, but what we are like, I'm representing my company, INSTA Startups. So what we do, basically, we are your pathway navigator. So we believe that entrepreneurs need to focus on their businesses because you are building a business. And just like we say that to raise a child, you require a village. Just like, to make a business or a startup successful, you need a community around you. And this is what the role INSTA Startups play for you. So what we do, we simplify the complex requirements of a startup visa for you. We have expertise in the startup visa application process. As I mentioned earlier, share with you, I'm also one of the successful startup visa applicant, and I'm, have a thriving business here in Canada. And we provide a comprehensive support from ideation to implementation of your business. It means that you may have a successful business in your home country, but what is required for your business to be successful in Canada? So we provide you the market insights. We will connect you with the ecosystem, just like ecosystem builders, just like the Spring Activator. And we also provide you not only the market insights, but we'll help you in getting the market validation also for your business. So from start till the end, we will be your strategic partners. So the power of partnership. So, no one can be, successful alone. So you need right people, right experts behind you, with you to make you successful. So what is the power of our partnership inside Startup and Spring? So we will help you in the whole process. It will make the process speedy and efficient. You will have the nexus of our large and vast mentorship network. We will provide you hands-on business development. And we have a deep understanding of the Canadian market and the Canadian ecosystem. And we provide a tailored guidance for business growth in Canada. So each business have different requirements and each business has different challenges, especially when you are entering into a new country. You are a new immigrant, you are a newcomer to a new country. So not only you have to settle yourself, your family. At the same time, you have to settle and, establish your business. So here we are to support you, to help you to get through the process. We help you to not make the mistakes, and you can get the help and support from our experience. So this is, and just because we have different services and, Spring being the designated entity, having the, being the ecosystem builder, they will provide you the right network and support for your business. And INSTA Startups with the deep connections and going through the whole process first-handedly, we will help you at a step by step and do the whole hand-holding for you. So how we are synergizing our strengths, what I have shared earlier. So what we specialize in startups, so we will be your strategic partner. We navigate the intricacies and streamline the whole application process. Not only the application process, we provide you post-LOS support also. So once you get the letter of support from Spring, we will be with you, when you are completing your incubation process with Spring. After that, we will provide you a tailored support. We provide you personalized business strategies, mentorship, market access. We build connections for you. And here comes the Spring Activator. They are the ecosystem builder. They have amazing network and they have hundreds of success story for the foreign startups who come through Spring and now they are having a thriving business here. And, they already have so many success stories, case studies, entrepreneurs who come through Spring Activator and now they are thriving, and they serve you as a growth catalyst for you. So they provide accelerator program, not only for a startup visa, they run many other programs other than a startup visa. And being an alumni of startup visa program, you can be part of that. They run many impact challenges. They run regularly network events, and they provide you hands-on training. And how, again, the power of partnership, how we both will be helping you. We come with an holistic approach. We ensure that entrepreneurs not only entering Canada, and the purpose is not getting the PR. The purpose and the whole mission and vision is that you not only come in Canada, settle here, but your business should thrive and you become a success story. And we provide you all the required support that you need and the guidance that requires for any startup to be successful. And for this, we provide a seamless integration because we both know what we are doing and we are really good at that. So, and other than that, there is no overlapping of services. Spring has its own strand. INSTA Startup is your hand holder. We are with you and we are a strategic partner. So this is all we provide, and Canada awaits your vision. So embrace the opportunity, be part of Canada's innovation landscape, be part of the thriving ecosystem, and let us help you, be your advisor and be your guide. Thank you. You can connect with us. This is my number. You can book a call, and it's a free call, 15 minutes call, and we always help try to support whatever the questions you are, what are your challenges. We always try to be there to help you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tehmina. That was wonderful. I will also share all those links that you shared as well. I'll throw them in the chat in a moment, but there you go. That Tehmina is a testament to the process. They went through the whole SUV process. They landed here, and now look at you. You're helping other immigrants do exactly the same thing. So I feel like there's this certain amount of empathy you must have, because you did exactly what they're going out to do, and you've been there. You've been in those shoes. So it's lovely to have you here today, and that was wonderful. I see we have a bunch of questions coming in already. Let me see if there's any we can jump into right away. Okay, these are a bit specific, so I'm going to jump into some more general questions that we see a lot of the time. So before that, even I'll give a bit of a brief background as well. Spring has been running the Impact Startup Visa Program for years now. It's been where we've launched. I think next year we'll be at 18 cohorts, incubator and accelerator included. And as Tehmina explained, we are a IRCC designated organization. So that means we are linked to the Canadian government, and we are a designated entity approved by the Canadian government. So our program is meant to attract entrepreneurs who want to immigrate to Canada, specifically those who are interested in impact. I know that the word impact may be new to all of you, but I can shed some light on that a little bit too. Impact really can be in so many different areas of your business. Whether that's the actual product or service that you're sharing, or just how you run your business. It literally doesn't have to be, I'm trying to save the world from climate change, or, that's wonderful, but it doesn't have to be just that. It can be how you, manage your employees, how you work with environmental policies within your company. There's so much more to it, and that's what we're really here to do. We're here to share all that information with you guys, as well as help you scale and grow your business. So I'm going to jump into my next question. Right. So Tehmina, I think you'll know this question very well. So I want to have some back and forth here. So my first question would be, is someone eligible to apply to the ISV program or the SUV visa if they are already in Canada?
Yeah, definitely they can do that. But it depends on what status they are in Canada. So, if they are on work permit or on study visa, that's fine, because if their status is temporary, they are on temporary they are temporary residents, so they can be part of any startup visa program. Because if they are permanent residents, but then there is no point. So as long as they are, temporary resident here in Canada, they can apply for a startup visa. They can be part of any group. And one more thing I would like to add, what you were telling about them about
Yep.
impact startup visa. So the
Absolutely.
impact is like, they can also see the UN Sustainable Development Goals. That what are the goals? Like, they can be part. They can be, maybe they don't know, but the work that they are doing can be, falls into one of the category. So they can, do that. And also the impact startup visa means like, impact the value addition for your business, that you are trying to solve a problem that exists. So it's also come under the impact, startup visa program, so that through your business, you are solving a problem. So it can be eligible for a startup visa, Spring Impact Startup Visa program.
Absolutely. I'm just sharing a link to those goals in the chat there as well for anyone who wants to take a look. Thank you for touching on that. And you're absolutely right. If you are in Canada and you're on a work permit and you decide you want to switch tracks, it's completely possible. I would highly recommend speaking to a registered Canadian immigration consultant about that process. But if you do have permanent residency, there's no reason for you to do so. You're already at the right spot. All right, jumping in, I'm going to talk about the program a little bit more as well. There is a question about the program being virtual or in person. We do currently run virtually. However, we're hoping to, have a couple more events running so that you can all network and meet in person, whether that's with myself or even partners like Tehmina. We're hoping to increase the sense of connection in person as we've slowly moved away from the COVID years. And another one I'd love to touch on is the required time commitment. So we run a cohort-based program. So it is a 3-month or 12-week program, and you meet virtually twice a week for 3 hours. Attendance is mandatory, as this is directly related to your visa. And each session will have industry experts, facilitators who are going to talk on different topics such as customer discovery, pitching, funding, scaling, and so much more. And you'll also get to hear some wonderful stories from different entrepreneurs who are there to share their stories and share their experiences. All right, let's jump into a couple more of the nitty-gritty questions. So I see here in the ask a question box. Okay, I'm going to discuss this one because I believe it is the elephant in the room. So the IRCC has been talking about the ability to apply for an open work permit that is 3 years in duration instead of 1 year. I'm sure you've heard about this, Tehmina, right? You've had a lot of people asking you, I bet. I've had the same. So I think the key word here is implementation. The IRCC has said that they plan to do this. When it will come into effect, we are not sure. That information is not shared with us, unfortunately. My advice and Spring's advice, and I'm sure you would agree as well, Tehmina, is that it is always best to get your visa paperwork in sooner rather than later. Because if you're waiting 6 months, if you're waiting a year to see if this change is going to happen, you don't know if it is or not. And within that time, you would have been making progress towards your permanent residency. So it's always best to get your visa application in as soon as possible, as well as it aligns with your interests. Whether that's your family interest, whether it's your business interests, just do what's best for you and do not wait for the IRCC to touch on that. Yes, so I was going to say that. IELTS, would you like to take this one, Tehmina? Are IELTS and language tests mandatory?
Yeah, definitely. IELTS is mandatory, but there is a good news that, if you are applying through Express Entry and other programs, the IELTS band that you need is very high. So the good thing about startup visa program is the IELTS requirement is minimum. You need to have a 5.5 band. The designated organization that are approved by IRCC. And the good thing is, because here for a startup visa, one more thing is that IRCC looking for genuine entrepreneurs people with entrepreneurial mindset. So they understand that, and they realize that sometimes with your entrepreneurial background and entrepreneurial journey, you don't have to the focus on language skills on that, but definitely there is a minimum requirements that you will be able to communicate in English, you will be able to understand English. So this is the minimum requirement, and anyone who is applying for startup visa, they need to all your team members need to have minimum band requirement of IELTS, and you need to have it before you are applying for your startup visa. That is a mandatory requirement.
Absolutely. And I believe if you already have one, if it's within 2 years, it's you can still use your previous score. And, I get a lot of questions. English is my first language. Do I have to do it? Yes, unfortunately you do. If you're born and raised in the United States or wherever else, and English is your first language, the Canadian government still does require this. I would also like to add that there is, you can also take language tests in French. I've added a link in the chat that shows all the different tests that you can take. And a quick note on that, although you can submit your language test in French, the actual ISV program is in English, and all of our programming is in English, our applications are in English. So that's kind of the differentiation there. All right, perfect. Let's jump back into the Ask a Question box. Yes, the recording will be shared on YouTube. I've been seeing that a lot. People love to watch the recordings afterwards. Okay, and then, all right. So the next question I see here is proof of funds. So would you like to take that as well, Tehmina?
Yeah, sure. But again, just like you said, for these type of questions, these are for the immigration process. Spring Activator being the designated entity and we are being the business consultants. We don't take that, because these are not part of our mandate. We will guide you as per the IRCC website requirement, just like Dil has been sharing the links. But the best is to, go for a registered immigration consultant and ask these questions for them. Other is that what Dil is sharing. All the links are and all the information is at IRCC website. You can go there and ask for it. So the proof of funds is as per the IRCC website is required, and the proof of funds for if you are because if you are a team of 3 members, or maybe all three are requiring applying for PR, but only one of you is applying for work permit. So the minimum requirement for proof of funds for for a family of 4, and proof of funds is according to your family, means how many family members are bringing you to Canada. It varies from the family members, and for a family of 4 is around, as of today, is around like 28,000 Canadian dollar. And these proof of funds should be liquid assets in your bank account. So you need to show these funds. They cannot be assets, they cannot be non-liquidable funds. They can be, these are the funds that you can show through your bank statements and through bonds that are encashable. And this is one thing. Second thing is that you are applying for work permit. So these, for example, to make it simple, so for PR, you need to show 1 year proof of funds. But if you are applying for work permit, so these funds will be double. And again, these funds will be according to your family size. And then you have to show 2 years of proof of funds. And again, you need to have all these before you are applying for your startup visa, because when you are filling the application for a Spring Activator, they will ask you, do you have the required proof of funds? And these links will be in the application as well. And you need to see that, okay, you have the proof of funds ready with you, and you need to provide at least 6 months bank statement that you are maintaining these funds and you are the sole owner of these funds. You cannot borrow these funds from friends and family. These need to be your own funds that you will bring to Canada when you are coming here on the PR.
Exactly. And so just to add a little bit onto that, the idea here is the Canadian government wants to see that if you move to Canada, if they bring you to Canada, you are able to support yourself and whoever you're bringing with. So just like Tehmina said, if you're bringing family with you, that number changes. based on the number of people coming with you. So that's a little bit more information there. And I did send the link. And this takes me to my next question that we get a lot when people ask, why do we need to hire an immigration consultant or an RCIC? And so I'll jump in for this one because I feel very strongly about it. This is really for your benefit. As Tehmina said, we run a program. We are a designated entity, but we are not immigration consultants. There is a licensing process for that. And the startup visa specifically is a very boutique and niche program. There's a large amount of programs like this, and we're just a really small part of that. So the paperwork can be quite complicated, and we want to make sure that your paperwork is filed properly so that your visa application process is smooth and you have no issues. From our experience in the past, it is much too complicated to do it by yourself. So Spring actually has a mandatory program policy. If you are going to be joining the Spring program, you will have to hire a registered Canadian immigration consultant. That's kind of the deal we have. And like I said, there's a reason for that, and it really is for your benefit.
Yeah, exactly. And also just like I said, because being an entrepreneur, you're already, there is too much on your plate already. You are establishing your business, and you are, going through the market validation process. You are understanding the market dynamics for, how it works. So it's better you let experts handle the other stuff. So, that's why the experts are here, the consultants are here, so that they will guide you through the whole process.
Yes, exactly. So I'm seeing a couple more answers as well, questions such as company must be product-based, or I see another one here at the bottom that says we are building our electric vehicles. Will this be the correct company? Like Tehmina shared earlier during her presentation, we are sector and industry agnostic. So that means we take companies from every industry. The only things that we want from you are impact and innovation. We want to see those two things in your business idea, and those are that's the tip I will give you for your application. Those are the two things you really want to emphasize: innovation and impact. Perfect. All right. I'm seeing a lot about cost and program fees. I will share our website, and I will share the section that lets you know how much our program fees are, and you can check that out there. And let's jump into a couple more. All right, so we get this one a lot as well. How many team members can you bring in as part of your application? Tehmina, would you like to take this one?
Yeah, sure. So you can bring up to 5 team members on a startup visa, and 5 means 5 people, 4 people, including the founder of the business, can be part of the application. But again, we would like to share here that, it depends on your business stage as well. Like, if you are at ideation stage and you are just starting your business, so whosoever is the team member, they should play an important role, and they can justify their role in the business. As Bill shared earlier, that it's a startup visa is a little bit complex. IRCC is looking at, if you are bringing your startup, it means that the startup who's coming here, it will be able to support the 5 founders. It will be able to generate that much income that is able to support 5 founders. So yes, you can bring 5 team members on your startup. You can apply for a startup visa program, but again, be mindful that what business you are bringing, and would it be able to support all the partners, and if all the partners have a right role and justification according to their backgrounds or not. So these are the minor details and intricacies that we help you to go through it. And also, just like Bill said about the innovation and impact part, so we have cater the impact part, but the innovation, I also would like to add here. So innovation means, it doesn't mean that you are, recreating or inventing the wheel. It's just like that you are something differently. Maybe there are many businesses out there in the same domain. but with your idea and your expertise, you are differing it uniquely or differently and innovatively. And at the same time, there is a need and there is a gap in the market. So that business is called innovative. So, it's not that you have to create something out of this world that nothing happens. It's not the innovation. Innovation is that you do something that is already there, but you are trying to do it differently or in a better way.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Tehmina. I'm going to jump into this next question, semi-related as well. So someone is asking if it's possible that both a permanent resident and international co-founder be on the co-founding board of the company. So essentially, I believe the question here is, can people who aren't necessarily looking to immigrate to Canada be part of the application? And the answer is yes. They would be external shareholders. So just like Tehmina said, you have 5 main team members on the application. That's the maximum, 5, including the main applicant. And then beyond that, if Tehmina owns shares in my company but doesn't want to come to Canada with me, I would just simply list her as an external shareholder. Or if she's already in Canada and she's waiting for me and she's a permanent resident, then I would again list her as an external shareholder. So yes, it's perfectly possible to do that. But again, always talk to your immigration consultant about these things. They are the experts, and that's the best way to move forward. I'm actually going to jump into a bit of the process of the application. So this is one of the questions we see a lot, where people want to know, when do I apply? How much time do I need? When should I start to budget this out, right? And just like you said, Tehmina, this is a big commitment to not just the program, but a journey that you're about to go on. So you need to remember that you're going to be taking time out of your life for this. And we're all busy people, but it's pretty important if you've decided to start, to stick with it. So the process, I would say you want to give yourself about 4 months before the program starts. So say that you've decided you would like to join our January cohort. About 4 months before that, you would want to send in your application. And so with that, you have about 2 months to process your application. So month 1 and 2, you'd be going through the application process. We would be in touch with you. We would look at your financials. You would get an interview if you make it to that stage. And then once you receive an offer, we would spend about a month doing paperwork. So that includes, the letter of support that we mentioned earlier, a term sheet signed with Spring, and a couple other things, as well as the program fees. And then that gives you 1 month right before the program to just breathe. I think people forget they'll let me know, oh, but the program doesn't start. The program starts in a month. Like, we still have time to do paperwork, but that month before the program is very important to just, organize yourself. You're going to be taking time out of your life. You're going to be taking time out of your business, your personal life, and just figuring out those gaps is really, really necessary, because this is a commitment. And as I said, it's mandatory attendance. So we do want you to be there, and we want to make sure you're absorbing and you're learning. So it's really important that you look at it holistically and take those 4 months to get in a good, proper process. So you can be onboarded correctly and we can set you up for success. All right, jumping into another idea, So I'm seeing a lot of questions on choosing and evaluating ideas. So as I mentioned, for us, it's about impact and innovation, and seeing that your business that we have confidence in your business. But I'd love to hear from you, Tehmina, how INSTA Startups decides that this is a startup that you want to work with.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, many times. So we take it as a holistic approach. Mm-hmm. First of all, we see the background of the founders. It's very important that whatever the idea they are bringing, it doesn't need to have an entrepreneurial background, but definitely they need to have some professional background and the skill set and competency that they will be able to implement the idea and create a successful startup out of it. And once someone brings the idea to us, so the first thing we ask from them is to share their CV with us, like, with the idea. It's not just the concept paper. We ask them to share their CVs, and then we have a questionnaire that, we want to know about their, vision and vision, what exactly they want to do. And then we do, then our team do some market validation and research on that, okay, whether the idea is being able to, there is a need in the market or not, is there a genuine demand for that idea or not. And then we get back to the founders and we guide them, okay, this is something these are the loopholes, or these are the things that you need to implement in this idea to make it a successful startup. And that's how we work with them, and we validate their idea, and then we help them in the application process that you mentioned. Because it's a complicated application process. You have a set of guidelines that we know that what Spring Activator is looking into a startup. So we will guide them through all that. What are the basic ingredients for a successful startup. So we walk them through the whole process, and we help them to make it eligible for the startup visa program.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm still seeing some more questions, such as should we prepare a pitch deck or a business plan? So let me jump into a little bit more of what we ask for as well. So your first point of entry would be our interest form. Very short, very quick. We'd love to get a little bit of information about you. And then right after that, we would offer an application for due diligence. So that is the next step. And that is where we will be asking you everything. We want to know your business overview. We want to see your financial history and your future financial plans. We want to see your team. Where is your team from? What did they do before? What are they doing now? How did you get together? We want to know that you've looked at the target market in Canada. You've looked at your competitors. I think that's a really big tip I'll give you guys. It's one of the things that I think people forget about the most, is that if we want to know why Canada, that's a really big one. Why Canada, right? Why is Canada the best place for your business? We know why it's the best place for you and your team and your family. It's a wonderful place to live. But we want to know why your business will thrive here. What about Canada and what about your industry or your idea is going to make it just a success? So that's a very important tip. I'm seeing another question here about ideation phase, or what stage a business should be in. We do have two different programs where we have early stage entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who are revenue generating. So we have space for both. You do need an idea. That's the thing. I'm seeing a couple more questions here that say, do we help with creating ideas and helping develop those ideas? Not necessarily. We want you to have at least something started. I'm not sure if it's the same for you, Tehmina. Do you take in any companies who are very, very early stage?
So for us, the early stage is definitely, past the ideation stage. You have an idea, and that's where we work with them before we come to Spring Activator. So they come with us the idea, but we make sure that the basic, at least they are MVP ready. So if we are creating a platform, so we just have a basic website ready with the we call it like MVP ready, means at least there is some validation of the idea, just like I mentioned earlier, the market validation. And we should have at least few users, not the paying users, but at least some people who have tested and who are willing to pay for these services or a product or whatever. So in this way, we are making sure that, they are not entering blindly into the market, because definitely a startup visa program has some cost and all that. So we don't want our clients and the people who are applying for startup visa to come blindly. So we want them to, okay, the idea is excellent, but the idea is in paper. So we want some practical aspect, and past the ideation stage, at the MVP stage, that okay, the idea is great, but will it work here in Canada? Just like you mentioned, that why Canada? So we take it also very seriously. But the good thing is that we work with them. It's not that they come to us and they send them back. So if there is any loopholes, if there is any work that needs to be done, we help them with, we help them to create a better idea. We help them to create the MVP for their idea.
Awesome. And so, yeah, just more on that too. I see the same question talking about, CVs and traction and incorporation in another country. All these things, like your previous experience with being a founder, or your previous job experience, or anytime you apply for a job, right? People look at your CV. They want to see what you've done. We're essentially doing the same thing. I want to know what you did in the past. Were you a founder? If you weren't a founder, what capacity have you worked in at a company? Were you a manager? Were you at the executive level? What is your experience, essentially? If you've incorporated in another country, that's awesome, because that tells me that you were able to successfully launch your business in your home country, and that you're a experienced founder. And that's a green flag for me, right? To just have any experience at all. But that being said, if you are a completely new founder as well, we're not going to hold that against you. If the idea is there, if the numbers are there, if the strategy is there, by all means, right? So it's not necessary to be an experienced founder or to be incorporated, but it does help. It's a plus point. It's going to help you. It's a perk. I'm seeing another question here. Should we prepare a pitch deck or business plan? Absolutely. You'll see that requested in our due diligence form. Another one here about work permits under the Startup Visa Program and essential member requirements. So essentially, I'll touch on this really quickly, not too much, because again, this is something for your immigration consultant. But essentially, there are essential members and non-essential members on a startup visa application. This means if you're essential, you will be applying for the work permit. If you are not, you will be applying straight for PR. Excuse me. That is the big difference. I always preface this, again, speak to your immigration consultant, but our advice is it's always best to apply for both. Start with the work permit and then go to PR. Because the whole idea is it's express entry. You're asking to come here as soon as possible because you're so eager to get started on your business. And if you don't apply for your work permit, it does not show that eagerness, right? So that's our advice. Again, always speak to your registered Canadian immigration consultant. I know I've said it a million times now, but really trying to get that in your guys' head, because it's just so important to make sure that your visa paperwork is done properly and you have someone with the right and accurate information.
I would like to add here, though, that you are saying that, again. So, just to make it simpler for whosoever is saying, a startup visa program has two parts. One is your business part and one is the immigration part. So Spring Activator, business consultants like us, we are helping you for the business part, all that. Spring is being an activator, being a designated entity, helping you for all the process. But immigration consultant is the right person who help you in the immigration process. So whatever the questions that you have and whatever the information that you need, so you will have two resources, your immigration consultant and the IRCC website. So, you can just, whatever your immigration consultant is telling you, you can verify it from the website. So that's why it's just like Bill is saying it again and again. It's very important to have an expert in the immigration field to be at your side. So to make the process smoother, and so you will be not making any mistakes.
Exactly that. Thank you so much for touching on it, Tehmina, because it's exactly that. We are here because we have experience in entrepreneurship, and that's what we're here to help you with. We're here to help you with your business, and then you need that secondary person to help you with your immigration. Just noticing time here. It looks like we're just wrapping up. We got a minute left. Flew by really quickly, huh? And yeah, I'm sharing Tehmina's information on the side here. I have your Calendly and your phone number. I'm going to put it in the chat. And yes, thank you so much, Tehmina, for joining us, for taking the time out of your busy, busy day to share all this wonderful information with us. And same goes to everybody in the audience. Thank you for taking the time out of your days to come here and listen to us chat about this program. I'm very much so hope to see your names pop up in our applications soon. And Tehmina, if you'd like to say anything before we end.
No, thank you so much, for inviting me, giving me the opportunity to share all that. And it's always, you know, a pleasure to help other entrepreneurs, other people, because Canada is an amazing place to come and bring your business here. It's a thriving ecosystem, and there's a lot of opportunities for you, your family, and for your business. So I wish you all the best, whosoever is looking it, and we will be waiting to welcome you.
Yes, exactly. We will be waiting to welcome you. And with that, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and the rest of your week. And yes, hope to see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.